stories will you be talking about tomorrow? Moving toward the center, Barack Obama's tactics draw criticism from the left. But will his moderate approach give him an edge in November? A day of headaches for John McCain.
You have admitted that you're not exactly an expert when it comes to the economy, and many have said that
I have not. Actually, I have not.
Okay, cue the tape.
I am not an expert on Wall Street. I am not an expert on some of this stuff.
That and new allegations about McCain's temper. A shakeup with his campaign staff. Perhaps because his idea of a Southern strategy is one that takes him to South America. How many electoral votes there? And war on terror shockers. The mission in Iraq gets even more convoluted. A U-turn in strategy as we now have to spy on the Iraqi army we created and trained.
There's no easy solution, and there will be no quick fix.
The chairman of the Joint Chiefs not talking about Iraq. He means there's no quick fix in Afghanistan, as that front turns more deadly for our troops than Iraq. And can Obama credit his success to the Series 24? Star and show Commander-in-Chief Dennis Haysbert seems to think so. Does this mean Hillary has Gina Davis to thank for her campaign falling short?
you are sorely mistaken.
All that and more, now on Countdown. Good evening. I'm Rachel Maddow in for Keith Olbermann. This is Wednesday, July 2nd, 125 days until the 2008 presidential election. In outlining his plan to boost national service today, Senator Barack Obama was no doubt aiming for John F. Kennedy's "Ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country." He was perhaps reaching for Franklin Delano Roosevelt's "I pledge you, I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people." But instead, in our fifth story on the Countdown, in a week of campaigning on expanding faith-based federal programs and the size of the military, Obama's political message today may sound to his left-wing base not like JFK or FDR, but more like the compassionate conservatism of George W. Bush. For a candidate running on change, defining the alternative to the Bush years, what gives? Another day, another battleground state, another apparent move toward the right by the presumptive Democratic nominee. Obama told his audience in Colorado Springs today that he would make public service of all kinds, at home and abroad, a central part of his presidency if elected this fall. High school students would be asked to perform 50 hours of community service a year, college students 100 hours. Senator Obama would also expand the size and scope of both the Peace Corps and AmeriCorps. The price tag for all of it? $3.5 billion that would be paid for in part with savings from ending the war in Iraq. Even as Obama pledges to bring troops home from Iraq, he's not eyeing a decrease in the size of the military. Keep in mind that right now we spend roughly what the entire rest of the world spends combined on defense. And Obama wants a major increase in the size of our military.
But we need to ease the burden on our troops while meeting the challenges of the 21st century. And that's why I will call on a new generation of Americans to join our military and complete the effort to increase our ground forces by 65,000 soldiers and 27,000 Marines. A call to service must be backed by a sacred trust with anyone who puts on the uniform of the United States. So a young person joining our military must know that we will only send them into harm's way when we absolutely must.
Joining us now, our own Howard Fineman, senior Washington correspondent for Newsweek magazine. Hi, Howard.
Hi, Rachel.
Politics 101, Howard, says a candidate moves to the center for the general election. But when that candidate is Barack Obama and he's won the nomination by challenging and changing common wisdom, is it necessarily the right strategy for him to move essentially toward McCain? Might being less different make him less electable?
Well, Rachel, I'm out here in Aspen, Colorado, where, by the way, you have a lot of fans.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm at something called the Aspen Institute Ideas Conference. There are a lot of very interesting, important, powerful people here in politics, a fair number of Obama fans, some of whom I've been talking to today, and they are concerned about it. One of them is somebody you probably know, Arianna Huffington, and her point, as others have made here, is it's not so much left or right, although it might be that too, as it is whether Obama is risking damaging his brand, and that brand is about authenticity and being a different kind of politician. So when he decided not to do the public financing, when he decided to support the FISA bill, when he decided to take a more positive attitude toward NAFTA, it wasn't any one of those things necessarily. It's the idea that suddenly he was becoming a traditional politician, a traditional maneuverer. And a traditional maneuverer is precisely what he's been running against so far in this campaign.
It's also true that that means the left-wing critique, or the progressive critique of Obama, jibes very neatly with the McCain critique of Obama, which could be dangerous when it's coming from both sides. Roger Simon on Politico.com wrote today that there's a difference between running as a candidate for president and running as the leader of a movement. Do you think that Obama is essentially avoiding confrontation now because he sees his task as not so much inspiring people anymore, but reassuring them?
Well, sure, Rachel. I think I think Roger's exactly right, because I've always felt that Obama is the big issue in this campaign from the very beginning. It's been all about Obama from the beginning. Now he's going to be the Democratic nominee. Now he's speaking to a much wider audience, not just to Democrats, but to all voters. And he is seeking to reassure them. He's seeking to say, look, this is who I am, and what I am is reassuring. I wear the flag pin now, he's saying. Look at this ad that I did that shows my Kansas roots, shows the white and other side of my family that you didn't know about. Listen to me talk about faith in the public square. Listen to me talk about the importance of the military and even increasing troop strength. These are measures that he's taking and messages that he's sending out that are all designed to calm and reassure and convince independents and even Republicans who his strategists think he has a chance to reach this year.
Even if we understand why he's doing it, there's still the question of why he's doing it right now. Besides the Wes Clark kerfuffle, right, which I think may yet work out to Obama's advantage in the end, I think this candidate hasn't taken a lot of hits recently. He's not getting a tough time from John McCain right now. So why is he making this shift now? Where's the pressure that he's responding to right now?
Well, I agree with you, and it isn't pressure right now, although the polls, most of the polls are pretty close. The latest polls show him with Obama with a statistically insignificant lead. But what he wants to do is batten down the hatches, prepare for the storms ahead, Rachel. You know, every afternoon here it rains like clockwork. You know, in this campaign, in September and October, the heavy artillery is going to come out. Obama wants to raise the money now. He wants to lure and draw in and convince all those Hillary Clinton supporters to give money to him. Having not taken public financing, he really wants to build up a huge war chest for his campaign in the fall to defend against the attacks that will come. That's what he's doing right now. He's working on the politics now so that later on, after having introduced himself to the whole country in a positive light, he can then go on the attack. You said Rule 101 of politics. Rule 102 of politics is that you have to build up your own positive image before you go on the attack against somebody else. That's what he's doing now with the rest of the electorate, so he can then attack McCain in the fall.
Howard Fineman of MSNBC and Newsweek. Enjoy Aspen. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Rachel. Take care.